Ever since I moved from Rochester, New York to New York City, I've dreamed of biking the 450 miles home. But even though I'm an avid city cycler, a trip this big always felt out of reach. So about 6 months ago, when brainstorming ideas to put this whole take tech outside ethos to the test, I had this idea. What if I finally did that trip, but I used tech to help? And then I lightly mentioned this idea in a video. I have a really exciting idea that involves an e-bike, solar panels, and 450 miles of bike riding. And a few days later, I got an email from a guy named Brendan. Since I recently made a solar-powered e-bike, say no more. This is Brendan.
Hello.
Better known as Outside Brendan. He makes weird and wacky and sometimes useful inventions. And a few years ago, he rode 100 miles on a bike powered by the sun, not having to pedal once. The only problem is that his trailer of 6 solar panels was 21 feet long, which made turning incredibly difficult. But having done this himself, I knew he was just the guy to help me with my project too. So I hopped on the next flight to Seattle, Washington, where we got right to work on a smaller trailer for me. Is this a bad idea? My ride will begin in the heart of New York City, which is not exactly known for its large bike lanes or patient pedestrians. But once I'm out of the city, I'll be on rail trails for over 400 miles. So our first order of business was to make a trailer small enough for city riding, but then it could expand for when I was out in the country. Our second challenge was to make it so the panels could tilt. I'll let Brendan explain why.
The solar panel is just a collection of what we call photovoltaic cells. Each one takes energy from the light and converts it into an electric current. As we point it more towards the sun, obviously there's less kind of sunlight reflecting off in other directions.
Watch this number. It's how many watts of power the power bank is pulling in from the solar panels. The higher the number, the more power you're getting.
180, 194.
Okay, so let's say we tilt it 10 degrees.
Yeah, you're at like 216, 220, 225.
So that's a massive difference just for the few degrees of tilt.
So yeah, we had to make this thing tilt. But first, we needed some materials. First up, panels. I got them for $99 used on Amazon. They're lightweight, thin, durable, and they can pull on 100 watts of electricity each in ideal conditions, which we calculated should be enough to get me to Rochester. But more on that in the next video. Then we chose to run these panels into a power bank, rather than directly into a bike, like Brendan did with his ride. This will allow me to hopefully be able to use excess power to charge up my devices, like my phone, when not using it for my bike batteries. This also means that if I get really bright, ideal days, I can get ahead of charging and have charged batteries for cloudier times.
All right, upstate New York, you see the sun? It's exactly what I need. All of this every day.
We went with a DJI Power 500, which is a power station that has a 512 watt-hour battery. The nice thing about this power station is that it can be charged by up to 3 solar panels simultaneously, while also being able to output a charge to a device, such as my bike batteries. The other plus is that via DJI's solar panel adapter module, each panel's energy can be pulled in individually. This is important because if one panel is slightly blocked by shade or a panel goes down, the other two can be working independently and still bring in a charge. Full disclosure, DJI lent me the Power 500 and the module for my ride. Thank you, DJI. And then holding all of this tech is a small, burly bike trailer that Brendan outfitted to be the most badass solar trailer of all time. More on that after a message from this video sponsor, Framer. So behind the scenes, I've been working with some creatives to get some merch going. And in this search for designers, I was led to many of your websites, and I noticed that regardless of the work displayed on them, a well-built, sleek-looking, easy-to-navigate site can really grab and hold my attention. And I noticed that many of those good-looking sites, they were built with Framer. Thank you, Framer, for sponsoring this video, with whom I started working with after I noticed this. Framer is a no-code website building tool that looks, feels, and works just like a design tool and allows you to launch any website or marketing campaign without needing a developer. You can migrate a website over from Webflow or WordPress. You could start from scratch and pick one of the many pre-built website layouts. Or you could turn a Figma design into a site. No matter what you choose, in minutes, you'll have a simple site that looks professional for hosting a resume or a portfolio. Or with Framer's full CMS, you can grow something larger over time, like a blog. Plus, there are in-depth and easy-to-understand video tutorials from a person named Benjamin.
Yo, my name is Benjamin.
They can teach you how to add personalization like text effects and transitions to make your site feel special and all your own. There's a link down in my bio if you want to try out Framer today. It is incredibly powerful and very fun to play around with. 10 out of 10 would recommend. There's also a 25% off coupon your first 3 months down there as well. Thank you, Framer, for sponsoring this video. Now back to the show. All right, so my bike ride's tomorrow. And about a month ago, I got shipped all of the parts to put the trailer back together, like we made in Seattle. But of course, I waited until about 12 hours before the ride to actually put it together. So let's build a trailer. So this is the center frame of the bike trailer. It holds the middle solar panel, and then you attach the two other panels off the ends of it. But it is also the fulcrum of the tilting mechanism. All right, now that we have the tilting mechanism down, we're gonna put our solar panel number 1 on top of this. But when we were doing our testing, we realized there was a lot of like jiggle between the panels and the frame. So we used some like insulation tape that's kind of squishy in between the panels and the frame. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that down first and then put the panel over top. All right, time for panel number 1. All right, our main panel has been mounted. There she is in all of her tilting glory. Now I'm gonna put the brackets on and the other panels on, make sure everything looks good before I break down for the night. And it was right around this moment when I started to feel fear for the first time in this process. In case it wasn't abundantly clear, I just need to be fully transparent with you. I have no idea what I'm doing. Not only have I never biked this far, but I know very little bit about how much range my bike is gonna get towing all this weight. I'm also realizing and remembering really how god darn big this trailer is and how insane I'm going to look towing it. I have no regrets, but I am wondering what the I was thinking. She is large. So after I had the trailer fully built out and I knew I had all my screws and pieces, I took off the 2 end panels. They get stacked on top for what's called city mode, or when I need the trailer to be small so I can navigate through city streets. Then on day 2, I'll put those panels back on the ends, fan everything back out for max solar power absorption, hopefully. It is the morning of the ride and I realize I haven't even introduced you to my steed. This is my Priority Current Plus. This bike has 5 different pedal assist modes and a top speed of 28 miles per hour. It's got a mid-drive motor and built-in front and rear tail lights. Priority also hooked it up with 2 720 watt-hour batteries, plus a range extender. Oh, and when I went to pick up this bike, they shot this incredible footage of me looking super cool on it.
There's a throttle?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Thank you so much, Priority, for hooking up with this incredible bike. I hope I make you proud out there. And away we go. Well, folks, this is one of those videos that ends at the beginning. I am on my ride now. I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to get on my ride before I made this video and put it up. And I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. And it is definitely the craziest idea I've ever had. So make sure you subscribe. Part 2 is going to be out in maybe a couple of weeks. But this is how it's going for now. And I don't know if I'll ever do this ever again.